Hi, this is John Doe, aka Frags with the DNB Academy, and this is the sound we're going to be making today. Yeah, heavy. So yeah, let's flip the screen and get right into it. This is going to be one of those patches we're going to use pretty much like all the oscillators we got available to us, besides probably the sub one. So yeah, let's get this started, because there's quite a few ones to add here. So to start off our patch, we're going to go with this basic MDC, right? And on oscillator B, we're going to go into Serum 2, wavetables, digital, and we're going to go into this, where is it? RCM base 1, which is a really nice wavetable as well. I feel like they added like really good wavetables for this edition of Serum. And then on the last one, we're gonna repeat the process. So we're gonna go into another digital RCM base, okay? But then we need to do a couple things on most of them, right? So first one is gonna be bringing down the random phase of all the oscillators. And then on oscillator B, we're gonna bring down the level to 0 because we really don't wanna hear it. And also we're gonna increase the voicing up to 2 and leave the detune at 0.4% here, like this, 0.04, right? This is the most important part of the patch because we're gonna do quite a bit of a FAM here, all right? So let's bring down this to -3 octaves, I mean, so we can have a little bit of bass, right? And on this RCM bass one, we're gonna do two things. First, we're gonna tune this to +4, all right? And tune it to also -1 octave. So we get this. Get this really cool sounding harmonic content. But then we're gonna set this wavetable position to 15. Right, cool. And the phase, we're gonna be sitting at around 63. That's the spot for this to kind of give two voices, bring down the detune quite a bit. Nice. So we're already getting the feeling of this bass shot. All right, and then the next step we need to do is tweak a bit of our oscillator A, because we need to do some phase distortion. So we're going to do some PD from B in this case, right? So we're going to pick up some information from oscillator B, and we also going to do some FM from C. It's going to be kind of complex on this sense, which not really, right? So let's just give a hint. Oh, but first, I forgot to mention that we need to tune this one down to -2 as well. So we get this, you see? It's cool, and then the FM. Also pretty interesting. But we also need a couple more things to make this a bit more interesting, right? We need to turn on the noise oscillator and add a little bit of extra noise to this. So we can go with some white noise. And then we need to filter this. And I'm gonna go with my reliable band reject, you know. Get a bit of the drive going, roll the cutoff lower and increase the width. Cool, because we're gonna add movement to this. And by the way, we need to run the filter through our 3 oscillators. Right? So that's kind of our goal. Now, let's add a bit of movement. First, we're gonna create one LFO like this, and we're gonna create a shape that's gonna be something like, you know, like wobbly in this case. It's gonna be a wobbly shape, I can call it like that. Right, so we're gonna add an extra knob here, make something just like this. We don't want it to be too aggressive. Just go on this direction. Something, you know, not... Let's make this 2 notes dotted. And let's start assigning this to the parameters that actually matter in this case. So we're gonna first start off with our phase distortion. And the range is gonna be somewhere, you know, starting around 5%, 7%, and then ending it. We can do like 1160. We can start at 11 and finishing it at 60. And then the FM, we're going to go super gentle here, like 27. Cool. Now we're going to assign this to the cutoff. See, it's already bringing a little bit more movement to it, and also the width now. The width should be like a 65, so we should start at 6% and end this at 65-ish. All right. Cool. So now let's process this a little bit so we can start making all these things that we built up together to just, you know, glue them into one particular patch. So first, we're gonna add a little bit of EQ because this sound is like the filter is not that aggressive in a sense. So we're kind of like adding quite a bit of mids and tops to our sound. So we're just gonna bring them down a little bit like this. Then we're gonna distort with a little bit of overdrive. When I say a little bit, I mean just a little bit, because like one stack. But we want to hear this resonance. You just bring down the noise a bit, or just run it through the filter. It's better to turn it off, or just bring it down a bit, like this. Cool, let's get back to our effects. And now let's get some hyperdimension. It's really important that we give this width to our patch, like this. Like 8%, 5% on the mix. Now let's compress this at the end. Multiband. Bring up the mids. The lows. Increase the lows up to 2 here. The tops a bit. And now let's go back to our patch and just like tweak things around, just to, because you know, these patches are all made of these things, you know, it's just little details, even just like the way we can play around with the shape, you know. And now that we got the core elements laid down, let's look for more interesting stuff around here, like these things can change the patch like abruptly. Bring down this oscillator a bit. Play around with the wavetable position. You can tune this one as well to 4. Bring it down to 0. See, I'm showing you ways to experiment with these patches. See, actually ends up being like really cool if we get it less saw wavy. You see? Let's just turn on the legato here and the portamento. Interesting. We can even open up the filter a bit. Go back to our effects and just give them a little bit more room to breathe on the tops here. Play around with the detune slightly. Let's find some sweeter spots. So yeah, I'll be happy with something like this, you know? Pretty interesting, actually. Oh yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace!